Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're joining. Welcome to the Nigeria M365 Community Mentorship Program. This is the 4 months intensive mentorship program organized by the Nigeria M365 Community. And I welcome you all once again into this session. Yes, you're all welcome. I welcome everyone for joining us on this session tonight. As usual, the Nigeria M365 community is a community of professionals, of learners, of experts in everything Microsoft 365. This mentorship program will run for 4 months, and it is brought or put together to help beginners and even professionals alike, beginners who are trying to kickstart their digital skills journey. It is totally free and organized by the Nigeria M365 community. So we all welcome participants from across the globe, and we shall be learning the following technologies: the Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Studio, Microsoft Entra ID, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Defender XDR, and Microsoft Purview for compliance. Right. Yes, I'll just, I'm not a stranger to everyone here on this call. If you have been joining the call right from the beginning, even if you have not, my name is Aisha Oshleye, and I will be walking this session with us, moderating. Simply put, I'm just someone who is passionate about technology. And I help individuals and organizations unlock productivity through Microsoft 365 and cloud solutions. My experience spans across technical support in Microsoft 365, training, cloud engineering, and I love to turn complex systems into simple, usable solutions. I'm driven by growth. I am passionate about community impact and innovation. I'm also committed to empowering more people to break into tech with confidence. That is me in a nutshell. And I will be introducing as well our speaker, of course. I don't think at this point she needs any more introduction, but because she has been taking the Exchange Online course, the past 3 classes, and tonight she will be taking the final Exchange Online course with us all. Please welcome Madam Titilope Bello, that we all have come to know and love, because she has been coming here the past week to share with us her wealth of knowledge, her wealth of experience, and our time as well, our resources as well, to enable us share in all that what she has. She is the IT manager at Ashem Limited. Her impressive credentials include being a Microsoft certified trainer and a subject matter expert on Microsoft 365 and Azure. She is a technology architect with over 12 years experience, and she's an invaluable asset in designing, implementing, and managing Microsoft products and services for clients of all scales. She has been an invaluable asset to us in the Nigeria M365 community as well. And our passion for revolutionizing the technology landscape is truly inspiring, and her strategic guidance has been instrumental in assisting organizations to realize that digital transformation aspirations. Not only that, she's also a tech expert but she is dedicated her time, over time, to mentoring at textilers, even the Nigeria M365 community, where we have all seen her commitment to giving back to the community, not just the community, but even on a particular note, on a specific note to women as well. And on that note, this is actually a special day for us as women in the technology or Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Today is the International Women's Day, March 8th, which has been put aside by the United Nations to celebrate the resilience, the contributions of women in homes, in societies, in communities, at their workplaces, in every sphere of life. So if you are on this call, I want you to please, please, please give us a clapping emoji on this call. Yes. And then to mark it as well, we also have a woman who is taking this session tonight. She has actually been taking it before, but tonight makes it really special, being a special day that we are celebrating women. Please celebrate yourselves. If you are a woman and you're on this call, please celebrate yourselves. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your resilience, your strength, and your doggedness, your audacity, and all that it has taken you to come this far. It is no small feat. Please celebrate yourself, celebrate yourself. I want to believe that for you to be on this call, this is a win for you. It is not a small win, it is something, because in the past, this has been a field that has been marked as a male field. But now we are seeing women making impact, breaking barriers, building solutions across technological landscapes. This is not a small win for the women folk, and we want to use this opportunity to celebrate our track here on the Nigeria M365 community. First, we celebrate Madam Olajumot Ketoriola, who has been a powerful figure in the community and who has been a very inspiring figure for us women and even men as well. In textiles, in the Nigeria M365 community, they have been a powerful figure, a powerful source of inspiration and motivation for a lot of us women in this space. So I want to once again say, Happy International Women's Day to us all. Thank you very much. And also, I want to make just a special announcement. I just want to divulge a bit. Tomorrow is my birthday, so every year the International Women's Day always means something different for me because it is the eve of my birthday. So yes, we are advocating for women, for access, for opportunities for women in every space, in technology, in science, in medicine, in law. We are advocating for justice, for access, opportunities, and the rest. And one thing that stood out for me because of this year's campaign is themed Give to Gain. Yes, give to gain. I want to believe that giving to gain will not just apply to every other person towards women. It's not just something that we are projecting towards everyone or against everyone towards women, but we're also projecting to women as well. The society give to women to gain from women, meaning if you give to women, if we empower women, if we protect women, we gain. Because once you build a woman, you have built a generation, you have built a stronger and a better world. But I also want to call to other women as well. What are you giving to gain as well? What are you giving to yourself? What are you giving to your society? We are not just calling on the society to give to women, but we're also calling on women as well. Women also should also put themselves in the position to mentor, to empower other women, to mentor girls or other women, to bring up other women so that they will be equipped enough to face life, to fill in leadership positions, and to also mentor other upcoming women in the world so that we can all have a stronger, a better, and a safer world that accommodates everyone, where everyone and every woman and every girl is safe and can thrive. Thank you very much, everyone. On this note, we'll be ushering Madam Titilope Bello, who will be taking us through the final session, the final part in Exchange Online. Please celebrate Madam Titilope Bello as a woman on this call tonight. Happy International Women's Day, Madam Titilope Bello. Thank you very much. But before I bring her up, I will just go through the usual housekeeping rules that we are all used to. This session will be recorded and will be made available for future viewing. Please mute your microphone when you're not talking until you're probably allowed or enabled to talk. Just react with your favorite emojis, and as well, you can drop your questions in the Q&A or actually pen them down till the Q&A session. Please follow us on all our socials. This is the least you can do for the community that is supporting you, right? Subscribe to our YouTube channel as you watch our videos. Follow us on LinkedIn and engage with our content. Join the Discord channel. We will be sharing the links to all of these social media channels. All right, let's move on as I welcome Madam Titilope Bello. Welcome, Madam.
All right, thank you, Aisha. And happy International Women's Day to you and to every woman on this call, and every woman or every woman out there, right? Yes, it's time, for us to celebrate ourselves, to celebrate our wins, our little wins, our big wins, our struggles, everything about us, how bold we are, our fears, everything is actually a day set aside to celebrate ourselves and celebrate our fellow women. And thanks to all the women in this great community that are giving their time, giving their energy, giving their resources, giving everything, because it's actually not easy. I know yesterday I went out all day. I slept very late to ensure I put on my slides together, went out all day and tried to make it back just on time to be able to take the class, because I don't like, once I've committed, not to actually follow through with my commitment. So it is how much women can go, how far they can go to ensure that they are able to give. And as we give, we are also thankful that those that are receiving are able to, in turn, we gain knowledge deeper. In turn, we gain appreciation, we gain recognition, and we are thanking every single one of you. Guys, don't be jealous, right? I know some of you, all of us have mothers. Rather, instead of your jealousy, instead of you being jealous, just pour that jealousy, pour it to shower every woman in your life, pour it out to shower them, right? They all deserve it. And thank you for nurturing us. Thank you for loving us the way you do, right? Thank you. So, on that note, right, we are just going to jump straight into the business of today. Give me just a little, a few seconds to share my screen. Okay. Kindly confirm that my screen is visible.
The screen is visible, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Aisha. Yes, yesterday we were able to touch on troubleshooting email flow in Microsoft 365. We looked at a little bit, not so detailed, on how we can use message trees, right, to do a little bit of troubleshooting, reviewing the different status, right. that can and what they can mean to us when we see them. And then we talked about connectors, how connectors are being used within the Microsoft 365 space, scenarios that could warrant the use of connectors within that space for Exchange Online. We talked about Mayflow rule, although we couldn't do lab on the Mayflow rule, but I will quickly touch that today. We just see how to create a rule, right? And probably explain what the rule we are creating, what it could mean, right? The impact, right, on the user that is going to be affecting. And after that, we are going to jump straight into the lab of today. Now, for today, we are going to do less of talking, right? We do less slides, and we're going to do more of showing, right? I'm going to be showing you more today because we actually have a lot to cover when it comes to security. Now, when I say security, I'm not saying security generally around Microsoft 365. The security is just focused mainly on Exchange Online. How do you secure the Exchange Online environment? Because you are still going to be having a dedicated security track, right? So, but what we are talking about majorly here have to do with email messaging, have to do with Exchange Online, have to do with how you protect it, how you ensure that email going in and out of your organization are safe, and then all of that, right? So today we are going to look at the different portals, which are to some extent, we have seen some of those portals, right? But now, today we are going to do more within the additional portals. We'll be doing a lot around the Exchange Admin Center, but today we'll focus on other admin centers that you need to manage your Exchange Online environment. We'll look at features like Safe Link and what it means by preset. That's when you have preset security policies. It's more of default security policy or built-in security policies. We'll look at that, and we'll look at retention and DLP, that's data loss prevention, right? And how it can affect us. For some of them, we might not be going deep into the lab. It might be just explanatory and exploratory. The reason is uh, it requires a careful plan for you to implement some of these policies so that you don't create more problem for yourself than you actually bargain, right? We'll look at mobile device policy, and then we'll look at the what is that setting or that service that allow your mobile devices to be able to connect to Exchange Online. That is Exchange Active Sync. We'll look at this basic setting, and we'll look at PowerShell, how you can connect with PowerShell, because PowerShell, like I said in one of our sessions, that PowerShell is no longer an option for any IT administrator out there. It is now a must-have knowledge, right? Because it allows you to be able to do or do much more beyond what you can do within the GUI. So looking again at portal mapping, we have already said that Exchange Online is where we do a lot of managing when it comes to mailboxes, when it comes to group mailboxes, shared mailboxes, resource mailboxes, mailflow settings, and the rest. Yeah, that is where Exchange Online, that's what we have been working with for this past few sessions that we have had. And then, in addition, we'll be looking at the Purview portal. In Purview portal, that is where we'll do settings like retention policies and then DLP policy, that is data loss prevention policies and settings. And most of other settings that we'll be doing will be within the Defender portal, right? That is where we are going to protect, create threat policy for email, the preset policies, and then also what's it called, email reports. We need to check email report based on how many spam are coming in and the rest. Yes, this is the environment we are going to be looking at that. So okay. Now security standard, right? Microsoft they encourage the use of preset security policies, and that is because they reduce misconfiguration risk within your tenant, right? These are settings that Microsoft have put in place, right? They are the recommended policy that they put in place to ensure that it protects your user. Even if you did not, at the end of the day, create separate or custom policy, these policies are more than enough to protect your users and protect your environment. And when we talk of misconfiguration, looking at what Microsoft has already put in place, they look at best practices, they consider best practices, they consider different industry use case scenarios for them to put those policies together, right? But if it is something you do not want and you want to create your own, then you can create your own. But ensure that you plan properly for it. All the security settings can actually create problems when misused or when not configured properly. Then save attachment, right? What it does is it adds an extra layer, right? An extra layer of security by denoting, by detonating attachments in a virtual environment. So there's a kind of Microsoft creates a kind of sandbox, right? Sandbox environment, virtual environment that you can quickly test out things, audit things, and then before you release or before you make use of them. So save attachment add an extra layer by detonating attachment in a virtual environment before delivering decisions are made. So it will take that attachment to the sandbox environment, scan it for either known or unknown threats, and based on whatever detection or based on the outcome of that scan, is able to either release the attachment to the intended recipient or block it, right? That is what save attachment do. And again, it's going to be configured in the Defender portal. Now, the Defender portal have other things apart from that, apart from save attachment or save link. It has what we report again. So when you go there, you'll be able to see email and collaboration, and everything you need is actually under here. But there's also a report section that allow you to be able to view all the reports. Here, you can see the number of threats. You can see the person or the user within the organization that is getting the most that is getting the most attack or the most porous user or most attacked user within the organization. You'll be able to see that, right? And then what Microsoft do is they document all these reports in a particular report page so that you can actually have a view to them, export them, make use of them depending on what you need them for. And talking about retention, right? Retention have to do with what happened to a user's mailbox. Maybe when it gets full, that is one. What happened to a user that have left the organization? What happened to a user's mailbox where the deleted item folder, when you delete an email, it goes into your deleted item folder. What happened to the content of the deleted item folder? What do you want to happen to it? When you enable archiving policy or when a mailbox is full, what will happen? What do you want to do to those mailbox, right? That is where you configure retention policy. Retention policy help you to either to keep right, to keep the content of a mailbox for a period of time. And once that time is elapsed, you decide what you want to do with the data. Do you want it to removed, that's deleted, or you want it still retained and nothing happen to it until you decide to delete it? This is also useful in an instance or in a scenario where you need to use it for compliance policy. Let's say your compliance say, for instance, when an employee leaves your organization, is to hold on to their mailbox data or mailbox content for a period of 3 years. And after 3 years, the data should be deleted from the environment, right? That is compliance policy that is applicable in real life. So what you will use to keep those mailbox data as well, so that they're not deleted immediately, is the retention policy, right? That is what you will use to keep them. And for you to be able to do that, there are components of retention policy. There is what we call the policy, and there's the labels, right? You need to create labels and then assign policies to these labels, to take certain action that you want it to take. And the scope, right, also matter when it comes to creating retention policy. Scope matter. So scope means scope and location, right? It matters. When we say location, location could be Exchange Online mailboxes. It could be SharePoint online. It could be OneDrive. Those are location. Then scope could be whether you want to add both email and document, or you want to make it just email only, right? That is the way those are decisions that have to be made. And when it comes to the retention policy, there are three common outcomes that you can have. Either you retain the content only, you delete the content, or you can retain, then delete afterward, right? Those are three main options that you will see when creating or configuring retention policy. Right. So we will see how to configure it. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking with slides today. We'll do more of lab. And when we are doing the demo, it will make a whole lot of sense, right, to you. Now, we say data loss, or DLP rather, is to prevent data from getting lost from your environment, or prevent data leakage. And the kind of data we are talking about are what? Sensitive data. Let's say, for instance, you have some data that you have tagged as highly confidential, right? Even email. You send an email to the CEO, and that email, the content of the email is highly confidential, or the CEO sent email to you. Let's take it the other way around. The CEO sent email to you, and that email is for your eyes only, right? It means nobody else is meant to see the content of that email. If it gets leaked, the CEO will know that it got leaked from you because it was you alone, he or she shared that email with, right? So in order to ensure that you yourself don't make mistake to send that email, forward it to somebody else, the best thing will be DLP policy will be in place. The moment the CEO is sending the email, the system checks it and it's tagged confidential, right? That's because of label that you have created, right? Then it automatically picks it, apply policy. When you get it, you will notice that certain button might have been disabled because of the type of content that it is. So DLP helps to prevent inappropriate sharing, right, of sensitive information, and it works across Microsoft 365 locations. When we say location again, we are talking about SharePoint, we are talking about Exchange, we are talking about OneDrive, we are talking about Microsoft Teams, right? That is what we mean by location. And Microsoft provides both an overview and a policy reference that breaks down the policy, each of the policy components for you so that when you are configuring, at least you know exactly what you are doing, right? So DLP majorly uses what we call deep content analysis. So you go beyond just the surface, uses deep content analysis to determine the kind of content and apply the corresponding action based on configuration. Now let's look at mobile device management when it comes to Exchange Online. Right? There's like I said, there's a protocol, a service in Exchange that allow mobile devices to be able to connect their mailbox, to connect with individual user mailboxes, and then you can do email, send email, and receive email normally as you would do on your computer, on your phone. The service that is powering that again is the Exchange Active Sync. Exchange Active Sync, right? It syncs mailboxes of the user to their mobile devices. And you can create mobile device policy, right? The policy, part of the things that you can set can be PIN. That's, you can say, before a user can access their email from their phone, they should set policy, they should set PIN, phone PIN. They must have phone PIN right on their phone. The phone, they must be able to lock, right? And then if they are using things like if they are using lock, you must be able to set, you must be able to set how many seconds or how many minutes your phone can stay, the screen can stay and without lock, right? Which is a way to prevent unauthorized access in a situation where you drop your phone and you just finish checking your email, but you did not lock it. You just drop it on the table and quickly maybe went into the kitchen or the restroom, and before you come, somebody entered into that space and find the phone on the table and look at it, and they were able to see. So it also help you enforce how the amount of seconds you can keep the phone active without before it's locked, right? And there's something that it also helps to do, which is wipe threshold. That's, they call it remote wipe. So a situation where a phone got stolen, right? A lot of organizations will be like, what will happen to the corporate data that is on that phone? So that's what they call remote wipe, right? That's what they call remote wipe. When you do Intune, you might be able to touch more about mobile device management, where you'll be able to talk a lot about, where you'll be introduced more to remote wipe from the Intune aspect. But from Exchange side, there's also what they call remote wipe. And that wipe, what it does is it clears the company data from the phone, right? It clears the company, it sends a command to the phone. And anytime that phone come online, it actually receive that command and wipe out the company data from the phone. When we talk of data, we are talking about email data or mailbox data. Now, one other thing is the one limitation with the settings that you can have with Exchange Online is the fact that you cannot use it to control biometrics. And that is because, right, that is because biometrics are not controlled by Exchange Online mailbox policies. Users can use biometrics after meeting the PIN requirement, right? You must still set PIN. So some people might say, oh, I don't use PIN, I use my face or I use fingerprints to unlock my phone. But Exchange Online require you, mobile device policy require you to first have a PIN, even if you want to use biometric afterwards. But you must first have a PIN on your device, right? So now I talk about PowerShell, that it is a must-have, right? A must-have skill for all of us, or for any admin that is going to be working with any Microsoft 365 services at all. But focus here is around Exchange Online. So what PowerShell allow you to be able to scale in terms of what you can do. So for instance, even though on the on the GUI in Admin Center, you have option to create users in batch, right? But that is where in creating users in batch or editing users in batch. And if you also notice, if you want to edit user in Office 365, there's a minimum number of or maximum number of objects that you can select for you to make adjustment. I think the max is 40. If it goes beyond 40, you will not be able to do certain things. So, but when you are using PowerShell, you can actually have an Excel file called CSV, that's common CSV, comma separated value, right? You can actually have such file or Excel file that contain thousands of users, and you want to make change to them all at once. PowerShell give you that power to be able to do that. Again, there are some things you might not be able to do in the GUI, so you will need to use PowerShell to run those commands. For instance, there is a setting in Exchange Online or in Office 365 that have to do with password policy, right? Password policy like password expiration policy for users within the Microsoft 365. So if you need to maybe set exception for a few users that their password will not expire, you can't do it from the GUI. You have to run PowerShell, right, to do that. So it is very important that you get PowerShell a PowerShell knowledge. And I put something here that there are certain parameters. So PowerShell, it evolves. It evolves as the Windows OS is evolving, as updates are being released. The PowerShell commands available also are evolving, right? And some version might be deprecated. When you install a newer version, you might realize command you used to run before no longer work in that newer version. That is because command gets removed and new one gets added accordingly. So always ensure that you check Microsoft documentation to be what command is still applicable or available. Yeah, one of the other things that you need to pay attention to is the fact that you can also run PowerShell now with multi-factor authentication. That used to be a challenge in the past. If you have an account, the account you are using to connect through PowerShell, if you have multi-factor authentication enabled, it's a problem. But Microsoft have been able to fix that, and you can now use PowerShell, I mean MFA, that's multi-factor authentication with your PowerShell connection. So I'm going to stop here with regard to slide, and I'll come back to the slide later. Now, let's quickly go into lab proper. And where I would like us to start from is the Exchange Online as under Exchange Online under what's it called? Rule, a flow rule. Right. Let's quickly see how we can create a rule. So what is the scenario that we are painting here? A user call, let's see, a user called James Smith, right? Or wait, hold on, let's pick, maybe we can pick a user that we have converted to shared mailbox. All right, yeah. We have Tom Lee, right? Let's say Tom Lee have just exited the organization. And what we have done is to convert the mailbox of Tom Lee to shared mailbox. We have also given the new person who took over from Tom Lee, we have assigned him access to this shared mailbox so that I can see the previous conversation between Tom Lee and the key stakeholders that person needs to work with. So now, maybe we want is maybe what we want to do, even though it has, is that any new email that comes from Tom Lee, let's say copy. right, be forwarded to the boss, to Tom Lee's boss, right, while a copy is still safe in the mailbox, right? So one of the things we can do is to actually create a rule. And to do that, we go to Mayflow. Under Mayflow, we go to rules, right? Remember, we touched some of all this yesterday. So we go to rules. And what we are going to do is to add a rule. When you say add a rule, the first thing it's going to give you is either you want to create a new rule or you want to select a pre-configured template, right, that exists within the Exchange Online. One of it say apply Office 365 message encryption and write protection to messages, right? This is in the case where maybe your business partner requested that the message you're sending to them should be encrypted, right? You have disclaimer. This is something, a message that is added at the foot, like a footer, right? For on every email that you send out. You will not see it, it's your recipient that will see it. But when they reply to you, you get to see a copy of that footer message, right? Then we have this one that says redirect managers and their direct reports. So sorry, restrict managers and their direct reports. So that's it. You have different options. Let's pick let's pick uh the option we want to forward the email to the user, to another user. Let's create a new one. I'll come back quickly if we can. Yes, redirect or forward from Lee email to manager, right? And then what we are saying is apply this rule if what? If the recipient, if the recipient is what we want to select. These are conditions now. These are conditions. If the recipient is who? Is this person, right? The recipient is Tom Lee. And you have selected Tom Lee, and then I'll click save, right? If the recipient is Tom Lee. So if the recipient is Tom Lee, what will happen? Do the following. So for this, do the following. I can forward the message for approval. I can redirect the message to somebody. I can even add additional recipient to the email. So I have the option of adding the manager's email address or redirect the email to the manager, right? So let's redirect the email to the manager. And then we select who the manager is, this recipient. Select the recipient, and let's say the manager of this guy is Victoria. The manager is Victoria, and we click save. So we can add an exception here, right? We can add an exception if it is necessary. If it is not necessary, you let it go. An exception can be maybe except the sender is from internal, is an internal recipient. Don't bother redirecting me, right? But we'll leave it as that and we'll click next. Now, this is where we talk about the fact that you need to select a rule mode. There's enforce, there's test with policy tip, and there's test without policy tip. Enforce means it's going to take effect immediately. It will start applying immediately. Test with policy tip means it's going to enable test mode and it's going to give a tip, right? Like a little message or notification to the sender, right? To be able to know what is going on. And test without policy tip, it will test it and people will not know what is going on from behind. You can also set a severity, whether it's low, whether it's medium, whether it's high, or whether you don't want it to be audited at all, right? So you can set it depending on what you want. So let's set it to high, And they say it's good always to test policy first, but we just enforce it. But in your own environment, ensure you test it to know how it's going to go first, or let's leave it as test. Then activate. You have option to say activate the rule, right, on a particular date if you do not want to activate it immediately. Activate it on a particular day, and you can also set automatic deactivation of the rule if you know that it's not a permanent rule, you just want it for a period of time, right? That's what you can do there. As stop processing rule, a lot of the time, you don't need to do anything here, and every other thing you can just leave it and put a comment. This is a test policy. A test policy, right? And we click next, and this is all that we have set, that we have configured, and review it, and then we can continue, say finish, right? So if anyone send email now to Tom Lee, the email will get redirected to Victoria, right? That is the way creating a new policy. That's the way it works, right? So that's simply. Another thing is this. This is also a common use case scenario where you want a situation whereby a junior employee, or yes, a junior employee, you want to know when they are sending email out. You want their managers rather to vet the email that they are sending out to be sure, especially when it comes to, especially maybe when that person have communication issue, to be sure that they properly draft the message or the right information is going to the user. So you select this predefined template, send message to a moderator, right? When we select this, you can give let's test moderation, right? And we say apply this email, apply this rule rather, if the sender is, if the sender, this time, you know, the other time we pick recipient. Now this time, if the sender is this person, it could be the sender could be inside or outside the organization, right? These are different options, or it could be member of a group, right? So, but let's go this approach. If the sender is Bruce Willie, right? We want to do the following: forward the message for approval, and we need to select who is going to. So we can say the sender's manager, but that will mean you have configured manager setting for this user. Where do you do that? Let's go back to Exchange Online. Sorry, admin, Microsoft 365 Admin Center. We go to users and select property of the user. Which user is that we're talking about? Okay, so this thing can be removed. Right. Yeah, so we're talking about Bruce Willie, right? You can look for Bruce. This is Bruce Willie, and we check Bruce Willie's setting and confirm if he has manager configured. So this is where you configure manager for a user. Yes, here you add here the manager of the user, right? And it will automatically, the policy, if you select forward to the sender's manager, it automatically send it to us. But we don't have, so we are going to select this. Who, let's say Charles um is the manager of this user, and then so we can say except again, you can say, and then you can add more condition if you want. But we are going to stop here. Let's make it simple, or keep it simple, right? So someone can actually try to send an email, and then you will get that. This one you can enforce it, and you can also test it as usual as we did other time. You can set this as medium, and we click next, and we'll finish. This is simply how to create a Mayflow rule. Notice when I say yesterday, rules are also referred to as transport rule, right? So that's simply how to create or configure rule. So now the next that we want to do is to go into the business of today. And sorry, before we go and look at those rules that we created, each of them are currently disabled. That is these two. They are currently disabled. So let's turn it on. I have this. Turn it on so that I can take effect. That's all you need to do. And then turn it on. That's what. Okay, it's taking some time. Okay, successful. And we close. Then go to the next one. We can turn it on. So always come back at least to check if the rules are enabled or not enabled. So you can turn it on if it has to be turned on. So that is simply how to turn on your rule. I think this is taking already enabled. So we are done with these transport rules, right? Now let's go back to today, which we are going to be, the first thing we want to do today is to review the preset setting, right? Want to review the preset set, that's Windows Defender or Microsoft Defender preset setting that Microsoft have. And to get that, we go to All Admin Center. Where am I? Okay, this is stage online. All Admin Center, and we click Security or Purview. But for now, let's go Security. I have it opened already, and it is here, right? This is Security, and this is Home of the Security Admin Portal, which is Microsoft Defender Admin Center. So under here, you might see yours like this. We need to expand email and collaboration. So we expand this. And under this, we go to policies and rules, right? So currently, the policies are not enabled yet, right? So what I'm going to do is to click threat protection. Under the threat protection, you will see different settings that you can put in place. These are templates, right? Which one of it is the preset security policy. These are pre-configured Microsoft recommended protection policies that have been put in a template for you to just enable. This is also a template. So you have different, now these are policies. You have anti-phishing, anti-spam, anti-malware, save link, and save attachment, right? These two are, all these rather, they are for your email. Then you have more like tenant block or allow. You have email authentication setting, advanced. These are advanced settings, which we will not be talking about today. So let's look at the preset security policy. Now, you remember we said whatever we're doing, we should start small, right? Test first or run a pilot phase, what they call pilot phase first. Piloting is also testing, right? So this is the default preset setting. It's currently turned off within our environment, and we need to turn it on. Now, to turn it on, you have what they call standard preset setting, and you have strict preset setting. This standard is used by standard users within your Microsoft 365 space, right? While the strict is more for high high-risk user. High-risk user such as the CEO, the financial director or finance director, the account team, and the rest. Those are people that are likely to receive a lot of spam. They are likely to receive spoofing email. Spoofing email. They are likely to be impersonated, right, within the environment. So those are the two type of preset policy. And the preset policy, the standard policy actually is a balanced policy. If you apply this, the strict one, you won't be applying to a lot of people. You'll be applying to a few, a subset of your users because it's very aggressive. It's the most aggressive policies that you can apply within your environment. Now, for us to apply it, we need to go to under standard right now. We want to go to manage protection settings. This is where we need to make decision of who the policy should be applied to, right? So right now it's saying none. We can choose all, but we say let's start small, right? Let's start small. So I'm going to select the option of a specific recipient. Now I have a group that I've already created just to invite us or to save us some time. I have a few groups that I've created, and one of them is standard lab. Okay, I call it lab. So I have this set of lab users. So I'll just pick this guy. This is a security policy by the security group, mail enable security group, by the way. So we'll copy that and we'll go here and we paste. So this is the group we want to apply it to. You can apply to multiple groups so that you can know. You can apply to individual users and you can apply on domain level. So for instance, remember we have a few domains. Let me go to our accepted domains. We have a few domains, custom and built-in domains. So we can choose to either say, oh, it's just one domain we want to apply to. But in this case, once you select user or you select group, it will take effect irrespective of the domain they are having or their email address is at, or that people are trying to reach them on at rather. So I'll click next here, and then now the first one is for Exchange Online Protection. The second one now is for Defender for Office 365 Protection. Defender for Office 365. This is where you will see Defender for Office 365 give you services like save link and save attachment. Okay, so these are you need license, but if you're already using business premium or you are using plan 2 Exchange Online or you are using E5, right, you will automatically have save link Defender for Office 365. Right. So here also we are going to select right specific recipient and we'll put the same group. These are the standard policy. So the same group of users, and we'll click next. We'll click next here. And then, so here, it's asking for the email addresses to flag. Now let me go back. This is impersonation. Impersonation is a situation whereby a sender is sending an email from external, from outside, for instance. They are sending email to your organization. And when you see that email, it's looking as if it's somebody from your company that is sending it. That is impersonation. So the impersonation make email that come from a different sender, make it resemble a legitimate sender within your organization. So we are asking you, it's asking what will happen to it. We want to go next now to select what happened or what domain we want to configure that for. So now we need to add the email address of people that when you see this email of this particular user, it will flag them. right, for impersonation, or if they were impersonated. So I'm just going to pick a few people here, or I can pick the group as well. Let's search for the group. Okay, we add it. Client error invalid. Okay, sorry. This is javi.com.ng. Okay, and then I'll click add. That's for that group. Then I can add. I have two standard users that I've created, user one and I have user two. Right? They are both created to be standard users. Right? Then we click next. Now here it's asking us to add the domain that we really want to monitor on this. So I can add travel.com.ng. I can also add that other domain. I add this. And I can add the other domain as well. And we have this one. So these three domains to be monitored. And if there's any email that come from outside our organization, as if they're from inside the organization, carrying this domain suffixes as the sender's domain, then it will be flagged. Right? Now, do we have domain that we know is going to, do we have domain that we know that we enable impersonation on? And if such domain is detected to not be flagged, this is where you add exception. This is like an exception for domains that you trust, right? And we don't have anyone, we just turn it on, or sorry, we move on. Now, policy mode, we can either leave it to turned off or we can turn it on. If we leave it turned off, it's not going to take any effect. So we need to turn it on. And we click next. These are different different settings that were put in place, the summary or review page of it. For Exchange Online protection, we apply to just the security group. For Defender for Office 365, save link, save attachment, we apply to this group as well. Then for impersonation, we apply to the group and a few members, right, that might probably be in this group as well. And then we have a few domains that we are monitoring for impersonation. Then we'll click confirm. And this completes the preset policy for standard user. So we also have that of that is also configured set also for the strict policy option. So let's quickly look at that now. So this now, you see now the button is now saying on. It has been toggled on. So here, we can quickly configure the strict policy for our finance director, right? And we'll click the same thing. And I also have a group that has also been created, which is this guy, this group. So we have this group, is this finance director that is here, and any other member that we want. We can always add them to the member of that group. Then we'll click next. And if there's anyone in this group that we want to exclude, you can click here and add the member. So for instance, let's say you have 4 members in this group and you want to exclude one person. So you add the person you want to exclude, but no exclusion is needed at this time. That's for Exchange Online protection. Now for Office 365 save link and save attachment, also we do specific as well, and we add the same group. Finance director, CEO, they are member of this group. For impersonation, the same, add the same group. You need the email address of this group. And we say, please enter a valid email address. This space. All right. So we leave it as this and we go next. For the domain, we're going to have the let's leave it as any domain. And then here also, we don't have domain that we want to trust. And we're going to leave it turned on as well. Then this is review, just like the first one. Same thing apply. And we shall have the 2 button turned on now. So that's that is simply how to enable the preset protection policies within your environment. And this is saying exclude somebody based on if you have added people or you have a few people that you want to exclude. Then there are times maybe where there is, after you turn on this policy, you discover there are issues, right? You can actually come here, exclude someone so that you can troubleshoot. And after you troubleshoot and detect what the problem is, you can then go and remove the person from the exclusion list at the end of the after that. So that is simply turning on the preset policy. So the next thing I want us to do now is to actually look at the save attachment and save link policy. Or we do majorly with save attachment. Let's go back to rules, policies and rules, right? And then we go again to threat policies. So here, I'm going to under policy, go to save attachment. Okay. Again, we say save attachment again. Denotes detonate files in a virtual environment before delivering the messages to the user. So these policies are, if you notice, they are already on by default. You can either we have the preset policy, we have the standard policy, then we have the built-in protection policy. So what we want to do now is to create a new save attachment policy for ourselves. Pilot save attachment. Or let's give it a name. This is the name we want to give it. All right, so that it is discrete. We are able to identify, the lab, tell us it's for lab purpose. Then we'll click next, right? So here now, we are going to select the users. You have option again, whether to apply to users or to apply to group or to apply to domains. And at the same time, you have option to exclude either user, group, and domains as well. So in this case, we are going to be applying it to the security group for save attachment pilot. Yeah. So this is the group we want to apply to, and we'll click next. So here, what you need to do, you need to make decision here. You need to select whether you want to monitor, which is the first thing you should do. Monitor first. And what monitor will do is going to monitor the emails that are coming in and out with attachment. Then, if it detects any malware, it's still going to deliver the attachment to the user. It will scan it quite all right, but if the detection is there's a malware in the attachment, it will deliver, because what we said is monitor. We did not say it will block, right? So now there's a caveat here. Dynamic sorry, hold on. Yeah, sorry, not now. Redirect. There's a caveat here. There's this redirect message with detected attachments, right? This is enabled. If this is enabled, it only works with the monitor action. It does not work with block, and it does not work with dynamic. Then what does dynamic mean? Dynamic means when an email that contains an attachment is delivered to your user, it will release the body of the mail to the user, but it will hold on to the content until it has finished scanning it and determine whether to release it to the user or not to release it. So once it finds out that the attachment is clean, what it does is to reattach it to the email, the original email of the user, and then it will release it. Now, all of this scanning that we're talking about is very fast. So it's not something that will take maybe like 30 minutes for it to complete. No, it's very fast. As a split, the blink of an eye, this scanning happens. Now, sometimes there could be a little delay, right? Where an email come in immediately with attachment and the user click it. You might see a message that says, oh, attachment is being scanned. That's because you click it immediately. But a lot of the time, you will not notice what is happening, because most of the time, they are not even your Outlook or your mailbox to click the email and immediately it comes in, right? But that is actually the way it works. And once we say block, once it detects any attachment, any malicious attachment, is going to block both the current and any future message that come and contain such attachment when where malware is detected. Now you have the another option to quarantine. Any quarantine message, right? Any blocked message can actually be released, but only the administrator can release it. However, there are other settings here, but natively or by default, only administrator can release messages that are being, or attachments that are being blocked, right? So what we are going to do here is to select monitor, and then we can click next. We don't want to redirect, click next. And if you choose the option of redirecting, you must state the mailbox of the user that will receive those attachments, right? But we don't want to redirect. We just click next to complete this particular setting, and we'll click submit. Okay, so simply we have just created a save attachment policy, which is this policy, and it is on. Priority is set to 0. So that's that is at the highest right now. So now we can do the same thing. The same thing apply to save link as well. And save link have to do with link URLs that come in the email that are sent to you, right? When you click the URL, it will do a bit of scan. In fact, when the URL comes, this is how it shows. Let me get one sample for you. You might see things like this. Okay. If I say copy, let's take it to Notepad. you will see the link is so long. And if you take note of the beginning, see save link protection.outlook.com. So what it did is it wrapped the original link, right? And first take it to go and scan the link in save link sandbox environment before it releases it. So anytime you click, the moment you click, you just quickly check it. And once you check it, if it's clean, you are able to click it. If it's not clean, you will see a red alert, right? You will see a red alert. Let me see if I have a sample red alert somewhere here. Link. Okay. Link, save attachment. Okay. Yeah, I have something like this. Yeah. You see that the address is saying savelink.protection.com. And this is because this user clicked the link immediately the email came in. So it said the link is being scanned. The following link is being scanned to determine if it's clean. And if the link is not clean, there will be another alert at the end of the day that says you cannot use you can't is not allowed to click that link. And if it's attachment, you might see a user might see something like this. A user might see something like this, right? Unsupported file type. So a text note is now attached to inform the user of there was an attachment or the attachment was stripped out of the email, right? So that's an example of the result that you can get, okay? And right from this page, you can also view reports to see how that policy is doing. Okay, because we've not done anything now, we might not be able to see anything, but I'll just open it in case. So for what if we want to actually check report of what is going on around the save link and save attachment, what we need to do again, let's leave this where it is loading. We need to go back to this security center homepage, and then we have reports. Click reports. Under report, we go to email and collaboration. Then you can actually click email and collaboration, click it to open the report page. And on the report page, you are going to see these different tiles, right? You can actually click the view detail against each of the tiles to view more, right? Now, in terms of restricted or suspicious, we don't have anything currently. This environment is almost clean because we don't do so much around it. Here um we have there are other things here. That's URL protection reports. Here we have 104, right? Here we also have for mail flow status, and you can see here good email, malware, email with malware, spam detected email, and the rest. Let's click this to see if there's anything. So currently, we do not have email. So good email. Emails have been good, as we can see in this environment. Your own production environment won't be this clean. You will have so many emails. You will have spam. You will have so many. They won't be this clean, right? But because this is just a tenant that is not so very active, right? That's why we're having this little information here. But this is where you are able to view all the reports or different reports you have here. Threats, yeah, this is for threat protection status. This is for post-delivery activity, that's malware spam. This is spoof detection, and this is for top malware, URL protection, and the rest. So these are the different types for you to be able to view reports of how emails are doing within your environment. So now let's quickly look at the Purview. In the Purview portal, and what we are going to be doing in the Purview portal is to create the retention, right? We want to create a retention policy that applies to our pilot mailboxes only. And what we will show here is to retain or delete outcome, right? That's what, just retain or delete outcome. And the location and scope is going to be with email messages within the Exchange Online. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly browse to the Purview portal. Let's see, going back here. We'll click Purview. That's Microsoft Purview. Okay. So here, this is how you will see it. And if you scroll down, you'll see the different locations that you can browse to. They are all under solutions. If you don't want to view it from there, you can just click solutions here, right? You can click solutions here and you'll be able to see what you are looking for. What we need currently is data lifecycle management. So we'll click data lifecycle management, and under it, we're going to be creating a new retention policy. This overview, let's go to policies. I will click retention policies. Let's create a new one and give it a name. I have a naming convention for it. Okay. You can put a description. We'll click next, right? And here we need to select the policy scope, right? One of it is using administrative units. But currently, what we want to do is to apply the entire directory we want to, apply it to, right? But let's see, we're not using admin minutes, admin unit rather. Don't have anyone that has been created. So click next. Yeah. Then what we will do here is to select static, because we want to be able to choose location. If you pick adaptive, is going to cover, you won't be able to choose your location, right? But if we push static, you will choose your location containing the data or the content that you want to retain. So if location change after this policy is created, for example, SharePoint site is added or removed, you will need to also manually update the policy accordingly, right? So we're going to use static option, and we'll click next. So here we are going to select Exchange Online. That's our scope. Turn off all these ones and just maintain Exchange Online. So yeah, Exchange Online mailboxes only is what we want to protect currently, and we'll click next, right? Now, I want to go back a bit. Let's come back here. See if we can select beyond security group. SG Lab. So this is majorly for admin units. We don't have a special admin unit. I just cancel. Leave it as we have it. So Exchange Online only is what we'll be covering. Then this is where we decide what do we want to do with the content, right? Do you want to retain the content for a period of time? And if you retain the content for a period of time, when that time elapses, what do you want to happen, right? Delete the items automatically or do nothing. That is option. That's option one. Retain for a period of time and choose what to happen when that time elapses. Then, do you want to retain items forever? That means it will never be deleted. Even if user deletes them, they are not deleted. The server will still hold on to them, right? And the other one is only delete items when they reach a certain age. So in this case, we can say when an item reach 7 years, after once they are 7 years or 10 years, or you can add custom, delete the data after that time, right? Delete content based on, right, when they were created. If I say 7 years, that 7 years will start counting from the time of creation. Or it could be from the time it was last modified. So let's say we have created this policy when after we've had some data, right? It wasn't immediately we set up our tenant that we are creating this policy. So if we select this, it will not do anything to the file or data that is already 7 years. It will only start working on them when they get modified, right? So this is another option. But let's select the option to retain the data for 30 days. Want to retain the data for 30 days, then we delete. So that will be custom, and this is years, this month, this is day. So this is 0 month, 0 year, right? 0 month and 30 days. Okay, why is it giving me 30 days? Or we can choose this option, 1 month. So we'll leave it as this, right? That's custom. Then start the retention period based on when items was created, right? Like we said, you can either created or modify. Then at the end of the retention period, delete items automatically. That is what we want right now. Then we'll click next and we'll click submit. So this is dangerous because it's applying to everyone. Let's edit. Let's see. So if we use this, we have to select a department or site. Group, let's see. Okay. think adaptive allow us to do that. So let's go. We don't have to, I don't want to go advanced. I don't want to go advanced at all. Let's maintain it with what. I don't want to go advanced. So here, okay. So here we can select that our group here. I didn't see it before. And the group we are selecting is save. Let's select the standard group as our pilot group. Done. Okay, right. It's one mailbox, but it's actually not a mailbox, it's group. So every member of that group policy will apply to them. So this is how to test in a very small window before you actually roll out to everyone else. So in case, see, that's very important. If we have gone ahead, going to apply to everyone within the organization. I'm going to click next now, and we can submit. Okay. Okay. So we have retention policy configured now, which is this guy here. Retain for 30 days and delete afterwards. That's this policy, this particular policy. So um, let's look at DLP for exchange email, and it's also going to be in pilot phase, right? And okay, so we're still in the Purview portal, right? The next place we are going to go is the DLP. Let's go back to solution, and we'll go to data loss prevention, right? And under data loss prevention, we are able to create a new policy. Go to policy, and the policy will say create policy. Hmm. Okay, we have this default. Just a moment. So web traffic with this approach. Then what we want to do, I would love us to select from a policy template, right? Let's pick a policy template. This is template, search for it. I'm not sure. I think it's already on the page. Is this? Hmm? Looking for PII. Coming up. So with master data, UK, US. Let's pick UK. Then you can create custom. So a lot of time you might not see the one that apply to you, and you can create custom. But let's stick with what we have here. Then we'll click next. And I want to give it a name that can tell me descriptive name. It's in test mode as well. And we'll click next and let it continue. So the same here is expecting us to select administrative unit, right? But we're going to go next. We change the location in front. And when we get here, we want to focus on Exchange Online again. And we edit, select specific group, include group, search for our group, SG. Yeah, select this guy again. I'll click done. Exchange email and only to this group that we have selected as standard user. I will click next. So what we are going to do is just, we are going to keep it simple. We leave it as default. And if you notice what this rule is going to be looking at credit card number, it's going to be looking at debit card number and SWIFT code, right? So this is important just in case it's useful in a situation whereby you have a business partner or a project that your company has actually is doing, and the company you are doing the business with, you are supposed to pay them an amount of money for the project at the end of the day, and something happened. An attacker got a wind of that project, and they know that you have not paid, maybe, or it's time for next instrumental payment, and they send an email to the organization spoofing the email address of a key person, the account person or finance person from the partner organization that you are working with, right? And saying, oh, you need to, we have changed our account number. So since you want to make the next payment into this particular account, this is the SWIFT code, blah, blah, blah. So when something like that comes, the system can detect it and already flag it, right? Which will cost you. Or it might even be that someone needs to pay your own company and a dubious person is sending another account to the person who wants to pay you. The system can see it, flag it, and block it, or send it to somebody to validate it right before it's being sent. So now, you can actually edit if you want, but like I said, we're going to keep it simple. Now, detect when this content is shared from Microsoft 365. That's from this our own tenant now is what we're focusing on. Then with people outside my organization. If any user within the organization send this, maybe for now, that means we are doing rendering service and we need to be paid. And somebody decide to send them another account information to pay into. That means the money will not enter the company account. So that's why we are monitoring that is when it is sent from our own organization. So this, we don't really need this. We don't need to do any change here. We just want to focus and keep it simple, like I said. And I'm going to click next, right? And here, this is where it's asking what action to be taken. This will be automatic action that should be taken on any detection. When content matches the policy condition, what should happen? Show policy tip to the user and send them an email notification. So that means the moment the user types those account number and everything within Outlook, it will the message, there will be a pop-up. There will be a pop-up on the window Sometimes if you are taking note, if you are sending email to people outside the organization, you will see that Outlook is telling you this recipient is outside the organization. So that's a tip, right? So the same thing applies. It's a tip that apply. It's a tip that is presented, or a little notification that is presented to the user. It can be you are not allowed to send such information. So you can customize the tip for the email, right? That will be presented to the user. Then you can also say how often or how many of such detections will happen, right, before an action is taken. So this say detect when a specific amount of sensitive info is being shared at one time. So at least 10 or more instances of the same sensitive information. This can be a situation by in the same email, right? You might be sending multiple account numbers or information in the same email. So a situation where you send up to 10 persons account number in the same email. This is so it's going to count how many times does those sensitive information appear in that one single communication that you want to send out. Then send incident report in the email. By default, you and the global administrator, that's the global administrator, and whoever has been given Purview administrator will also be able to receive the reports of what is happening. So you can choose also what to include in the report and who to receive the report if you want to limit it. But natively, the global admin will automatically receive the email of the report. Then send alert if any of the DLP rule matches, right? You can configure the alert as well. So these are a few things that you can do with regard to action when a policy condition is matched, right? Then we'll click next. We just keep it simple. And the next thing is asking us to customize and override certain settings, right? We are going to leave it. We're not going to change anything here. We'll just click next. Now, policy mode, the policy mode we want to select is to test, right? We want to run it in simulation mode, which means it's testing, is not applying it. Or you want to turn the policy on immediately. But what we want to do is to run it in simulation mode first. So we can show policy tip in simulation mode. We can also turn on policy if it's not edited within 15 days of simulation. So you can, if you check this, whether you remember to go and turn it on or not, it will turn it on for you. That means it will start applying it after 15 days. But if you don't, you need to manually go and turn it on if you feel you've collected enough data that can help you to further refine the policy. And that is all with regard to this policy. And we are going to just click submit. Okay. And if we go back to policy now, we should see the policy we just created, which is this guy, right? Correctly syncing. Okay. So the next thing I want us to do, which from here is where we are going to close out today, is to quickly look at Exchange Online, sorry, Exchange Active Sync setting. So in this case, excuse me, in this case, we'll be going back to the Exchange Admin Center. That is where you configure that setting. And under mobile, yeah, this Exchange Admin Center, go to mobile device access. Sorry, mobile device policy, right? And here in the mobile device policy, there's a default policy. But let's see how to add a new one. It's a name. Right? This policy is default. You can set it to replace the default policy. And you can allow mobile devices that don't fully support this policy to sync, right? So, but we are going to just go next. Now, this is where you set the different things. The first thing here, say, which you need to enable before you can do any other thing. Require mobile device password. Allow either simple password or require alphanumeric password. So we can say alphanumeric and then how many characters. So it can be 4, can be 2. As password must include this many character set, 4 or 2. Then require encryption on device. That is if you want that, but we'll leave that. Then minimum password length, right? Minimum password length is let's say 6 is the minimum password length, and then the number of sign-in failures before device is wiped. This is dangerous. The number of sign-in before the device is wiped. Let's look at 4. Because I don't know why you'll be entering a password, forget your own password. It's very rare, right? Require sign in after the device has been inactive for, can say, 5 minutes. So this is to automatically lock the Outlook app on your phone. It will automatically lock it. Not your phone. It's not locking your phone. It's automatically lock the mail app that you are using. So by the time you want to open the mail app again, it's going to ask you to re-enter your password. Then enforce. Okay, let's see. I think let's increase it because it's dangerous. We can increase it to like 10. I increase it to like 10 times. Then say enforce password lifetime, right? In days. Password lifetime in days. Can say 45 days. That means after 45 days, you'll be required to change your password again. And we can also choose not to set it. It's not compulsory. Then password recycle count. You can do 2. This means how many passwords. If you use, for instance, I set a password now, I call it TT is my password for the first time. Then if I want to reset my password after 45 days, I can't use TT again. I have to use maybe Bello, right? But if there's another 45 days to reset, I can now reuse TT again. But I cannot reuse TT again. That's the way it works. So minimum password, distinct password that I can use before I start reusing my password. I set it as 2. Then we can click next and we can click create. This is simply how to create password policy, mailbox policy for mobile devices. Okay, so this is our policy here. And yeah, this is our policy here. So we need to, one of the things we need to do now is we have already created the policy, but we also need to assign the policy. And let's assign the policy to a mailbox. Go back to recipient and mailbox. You can select Thomas or John Doe, right? Select John Doe, and then we are going to apply the mailbox, the policy to this guy, right? Our mobile mailbox policy. Here we have sharing policy, we have role assignment policy, we have MRM. That should be remote, something remote mailbox policy. I can't remember. I can't have forgotten what that is, right? So here we're going to assign. Let me go to, I'm not seeing the one I'm looking for. Okay. Where is it? Mailbox settings, delivery, mailbox policy. This is retention policy. Yes, mailbox retention policy. But I can't see the one I need here. Okay, manage mobile devices. So let me see whether it's here. Yeah, it's here. It's here, right. That was where? That was under, let's go back. That was under the general, right? Under general, we have email apps and mobile devices. So I selected manage mobile devices. And from there, we're able to browse to the policy. If you notice, it was the default that was there before. We're able to browse to the policy that will now start affecting this user, right? So it has been applied, and that is simply how to apply the policy that you have configured, right, for the user, or yes, for your users. So there are quite a lot of other things that we need to do, but unfortunately time has gone, and I would like to actually stop here and pause for a while for questions, if anyone have questions. But I'm going to be stopping here today. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. So the floor is open for questions.
Thank you very much, Madam Fifi. This has been a whole lot, right? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing all of this with us. And guys, please give us some round of applause or use your favorite emoji to appreciate her. If I'll be checking for the answer for the questions, please I have innocence. Innocent Innocent is here. Has been raising his hand. Please, you can go ahead with your question. I have enabled your mic. Innocent, if Innocent, you can just enable your mic and go ahead with your question. Innocent and Udo, and then Shegun. These are the three people we have that have their hands raised. So just taking questions for these three from these three people. Innocent, you can disable your mic. I mean, enable your mic. I have enabled it, so you can just unmute and speak. Innocent, and while we're waiting for Innocent, please, Udo, you can get ready. If you're available, just go ahead. I'm not sure about Innocent. Just go ahead. That Udo, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm seeing that name correctly. Anyway, please, all three of you that have your hands raised, your mics have been enabled. You can just unmute and speak, please. If you're ready.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, Madam Titi, thank you so much for your training. Sorry, please. My question has to do with SharePoint and OneDrive. The retention policy that you implemented, I want to ask, does it affect SharePoint and OneDrive?
Okay, if you notice that we actually selected location, which we only base it on Exchange Online, right? But
Okay.
you have to specifically select the location. You have to add SharePoint and OneDrive to it if you want. If you recall,
Okay.
when we were creating the threat protection, we actually removed other things and left just email Exchange Online.
Exchange Online. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one question.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other question?
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So I want to, I don't know, I think maybe my network or I missed something out. So I want to just confirm during the safe attachment, and you said something that if you enable the quarantine policy is also part of the option, and if you enable it, only the admin can release the mail. I don't know if that is correct.
That's for the attachment scan, not the email.
Yes. Yes, for the attachments in the mail, that if it is quarantine, you said something about
Only the admin
only
the admin can release it. Yes.
Okay, so there's no
But
policy
for
that
normal
can
email, for normal email spam, you can actually configure your environment for users to go to the anti-spam page, that's quarantine page,
okay,
and release those
okay,
by
and
themselves.
release it. Okay.
However, email
Okay.
that has been categorized as having malware, attachment that has been categorized as having malware, users cannot release them by themselves.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. I'm not sure if you have any more questions, any more hands raised, and
Okay.
I think it's safe for us to call it in night, right?
Okay, just
Right.
a
We still have
moment.
one person. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Shegun.
Okay.
Shegun
Do we
Phillips is
still have
still
more?
there.
Okay. All
Yes,
right,
there's
so go
Shegun
ahead.
Phillips. Okay, Shegun has brought
Sorry, I
down.
just spoke now. I just spoke.
Okay,
Shegun,
you're the one that
I
just
just
spoke.
asked question about
Okay, I think
yes,
we
the
have more
quarantine
people
policy.
raising their hands that were not raising their hands before. I think that's why that's what caused the confusion. There's this Olu, and then there's Damilola Badmus. Can we still take their questions, ma'am?
Yes, we can.
All right, Oluwaseun, go ahead. Your mic is enabled. And then Damilola should go next, and that will be all.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, Madam Titi. Thank you very much for this session. Please, the question I want to ask is about the attachment policy. Is this the same platform that we configure the size of the attachment that is that a sender can use to send an attachment?
No, it's not the same. It's not the same environment. That attachment is the attachment that people are sending to you from outside your organization majorly. But the other one that you are talking about, you are talking in terms of mailbox setting. Let me see. Sometimes you might need to run PowerShell to set that. Where is this? This admin center. Oh, sorry. So, but it's not the same place. I will check that and share with you in the chat.
All right. Thank you very much. That's my question.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, See, I have a few questions. Is that all? Do we still have somebody?
I think that's all. There's no one else remaining.
Okay. So in the chat, right, somebody was asking for the Microsoft Defender if you have equal access to Sentinel, Defender, and security, cloud security as displayed in my own screen. The answer is no. Sentinel is different. It's a different place you go and configure your Sentinel, right? What we are dealing, like I said, what we are dealing with is just majorly save link and save attachment, which is from the Purview portal. However, there are other under Defender. There are other Defender settings that you can find in the Defender portal. But for Sentinel, it's a different interface. Now, another person asked the question of save attachment that we created. Is that how we configure save link to protect our users from malicious URL as well? The answer is yes, right? If you remember, when we want to threat protection, you have option for under policy, you have save link. Under policy, you have save attachment. So if you go to save link, the same way, you are going to select the location that you want to apply the link to, that you want to apply the policy to, right? And just the same way, you go and see the same thing. You apply to group or users or domain, and then yeah, you select for email, right? On save link. These are the settings you can put for Teams, for Office, and every other thing. So if we want to configure now, we will focus on email only, right? And remove Teams and any other thing, any other settings from here, right? That's the same way. Then you configure your notification and review and save. It's even less. The setting you have here is less than the save. It's less than the save attachment. But yes, it's the same place you go and see, you see your policy to create. Then someone said, how long do one need to consistently do this to be good at it? Yes, there is no timeline, right? There is no timeline. But as long as you have resources available at your disposal, and as long as you have opportunities or scenarios that warrant you to try your hands on it, even when you don't have opportunity, if you have an environment to try it, always try to put it in use. But when you are doing, while you are doing all of that, ensure you limit it and understand properly how it works before you start rolling out generally. Someone said, I'm trying to process everything at once. You cannot process everything at once. You need to take it bit by bit, and it requires rewatching and watching and watching again. So they said repetition creates perfection, right? And practice makes perfect. So it has to do with how we try to redo and redo and redo. As you continue to do and redo it and repeat the steps and action, they become it becomes stick and you get more understanding. I always say knowledge is not, no knowledge is wasted, right? In the sense that if I'm in a class right now, they are teaching a particular topic. I will not get, definitely, I will not get 100% of what is still being taught in the class, right? But when there's another time somebody is taking it again and I'm listening to it again, I'll pick something that I didn't pick the first time. And then when I'm also rewatching the video, let's say on my own, I will still pick something that I didn't pick even the first and the second time. Or I will understand it in a different way, right? That is the way learning comes. That's the way it works. It's not something you take in once, digest it once. I think it's people that have photographic memory that can do that, right? But if you don't, obviously you have to repeat, go over it again and again. That is how some of us became a master at what we do. Even at that, we are still not perfect. We don't know it all, right? That's the way it works. So I hope we've been able to, that's the last question I saw in the chat. And I hope we've been able to answer all your questions. And then that will be all. from my side today. Thank you so much, everyone. And happy
Thank you
birthday to
very
you
much,
in
ma'am.
advance, Aisha.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and thank you for your cooperation and always showing up. um that is one of the ways you show that you're committed to this journey, and then it's actually one of the ways to encourage the mentors who are coming here to dish out all of this value. Thank you very much. Until we meet again, same time, Saturdays and Sundays. Please, let's put that in mind. Every Saturdays our classes hold Saturdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thank you very much. In the next weekend we'll be going into Microsoft Teams, and that will be taken by one of our mentors, Joseph Afeso. In the meantime, please always endeavor to go back to the recordings, because as you rewatch and rewatch, you get better understanding, just like Madam Titi has mentioned. So please let us try to do that. In the event that you run into any issues, you can reach out to any of the mentors, you can reach out to me for such to be resolved. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and have a very wonderful week ahead and a lovely night. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Right.
Bye, everyone.